Welcome back to the channel. Please go ahead and shoot that like button. I wanted to take a minute to talk about the See All sight. I noticed somebody was saying, well, See All sight's not a red dot. Well, you know what? It seems to have all the blessings of the red dot and none of the curses. Well, except for the one where, again, you've got to, get the reticle in the window, okay? Because when you go to draw, and like if I go to draw this, I gotta know that this is gonna be right here, not outside the window somewhere. All right, and one of the ways that it's automatic is if you have, a regular, well, if you have a brace like this, or if you had a stock on a rifle, it kind of just automatically it's right where it's supposed to be. However, if you have a pistol, okay, you have to train yourself to draw in a manner that puts the dot right where it's supposed to be. Okay, and that's basically the biggest drawback. But let me explain the where this excels, because to me this is the hybrid. This is kind of like the perfect sight for a lot of the gun community who will say, "Well, I don't want a red dot because what if I draw it and the battery's dead?" And I've heard the line before of, well, it doesn't matter because I've got co-witness. All right, well, you're going to tell me in the heat of the moment, oh my God, I got to use my gun, that you're going to, oh, the battery's dead. Well, I'll just use the co-witness. I don't think it's going to happen. All right, I think that's about like training yourself. You ever seen where somebody removes the sights or tapes over them or something, and they practice the draw fire where you don't really aim, you just kind of aim down your arm, so to speak, and they do drills like that to practice, what if you don't have time to aim, or what if maybe you got to shoot from the hip, that's a drill too. There's a lot of them where you're not taking the time to look down the sights, like whether you don't have time or whatever it may be. Okay, I see that as likely as saying, oh no, my sight system's not working, I'll go with my backup sight system. I'm not a big fan of this co-witness thing because I don't think it's realistic. Unless every time you go to the range, for every 5 times you use your red dot sight, you use your co-witness sights. Then I can see it, because then your mind is used to transitioning back and forth from the co-witness sights back to the red dot, back to the co-witness sight. Because what is your brain going to do in the animalistic functions? When you're all in adrenaline mode, you're really going to try to convince me that you're going to just make that transition? I don't buy it. I think that you're more likely to just hope for the best and which might be fine too. I don't know if it's better. I don't know. I'm not a cop. I don't know. Maybe, a cop's person to ask. What do you usually do in a moment like when they're very close? Because there's so many different things that could be going on. You could have multiple assailants that are at a distance where you need your sight system, okay? Or you might have your sight system intact, be ready to use it, but they're only an arm length away, so what do you need it for? You're not aiming from here to here. If they're only arm's reach out, then you don't need a sight system. So it's not really going to matter whether you've got the top of the line red dot, whether you got no sights, whether you got built-in ones. It's not going to make any difference if you're not using it. Okay, so why is this like the hybrid and the best for the guy that doesn't want to worry about, hold on, bad guy, let me hit the on button first. We have something in this country where you can't just copy somebody else's design and make a bunch of money off of it without worrying about getting sued. So when you have somebody come out first and they put a patent on something, like you got the Sig Sauer Romeo Juliet versions where you shake them and they turn on, okay? You got the Vortex Venom one where it's supposed to come on when daylight hits it, all right? They can't all have the same system or they would get sued. So, like Vortex Venom has an auto setting on it where it's supposed to adjust to ambient light. So could there possibly be a site that shakes to turn on and adjusts to ambient light, and it has all the things, and the battery life is forever. Hey, let me tell you something. This one, you don't have to worry about the electronics going bad in. You know why? Because it doesn't have any electronics. You don't have to worry about, oh my God, it didn't turn on when I shook it, or it didn't come on when the daylight hit it. You know why? Because there's no electronics. I don't have to worry about, oh, the battery could be dead. I haven't changed it. Let me check the battery, because there is no battery. That's why I like this one so much, because there's no electronics that can go bad if you bring a magnet next to it, if somebody launched an EMP, if it fell to the bottom of the ocean, or if it was underwater. You don't have to worry that it's going to sit in there and battery acid's going to leak out in 5 years and it's just going to be ruined. You don't have to worry about, but this is tritium. You can get the tritium versions. This one does glow in the dark. I don't have to worry about it setting for, oh, it's too bright because it's dark out. Hold on, bad guy. Let me make an adjustment because I can't see my reticle. Okay? I don't have to worry about that because this doesn't need to adjust for ambient light. It collects light and it's already at optimal all the time. I've never had an issue. The other side of that is it's so bright outside that you can't see the reticle. Hold on, bad guy. Let me turn down my red dot because I can't see it. So again, that's not an issue with with the See-All sight, because there is no adjusting, because it adjusts, it's self-adjusting because it has a collector that collects so much of the light, and then it's tritium, so if there's not enough light, so no matter what, it's always just the way it needs to be. I've never had an issue to where, I don't have enough light, or there's too much light, or something of those natures. So that's why, but yet it has all of the pros. Like, again, it discounts sight radius, okay? You don't need to worry about that. It helps with the speed of transition from target to target. Has all the pluses of the red dot, and the only negative that it shares with the red dot is trying to find the reticle and training yourself to find it. And it's also probably cheaper than most of the red dots on the market. The only thing, this one's made out of metal, so you could probably drop test this and it would probably hold up pretty good. That's the only thing. I don't know drop test, but I don't know. To me, that's not a big deal because I normally never drop my guns. I think I've dropped one gun in the last 2 years, once in the sand. Probably wouldn't have broke this anyway if I had, but that one didn't have red dot on it. But that's the only place where I could see this being inferior. It doesn't lose its zero. It's completely and fully adjustable. So how in the world, like, people would think, oh, you know what? Why would you buy that when there's something more expensive out there? Hey, if you were to give me a really good Trijicon RMR and somebody else had this and said, do you want to trade? And I would say, yeah, I don't even care about the money difference. I really don't. I'd rather have this. If this was, right now it's hard to get things. So if somebody else had this and I couldn't get one of these, and I had the top of the line, most expensive red dot, I would trade them for this. Just because, to me, this is more reliable, more useful, easier to deal with. Twice I went to the range and found my Vortex Venom battery was dead. Do I want to spend the time at the range trying to use backup sites or co-witness? No. I didn't. I just left the range. I was like, this is stupid and I'm sick of it. Shouldn't be a problem. Is that going to happen right at the wrong time when you're fighting a bad guy? Probably not. I mean, I like to be realistic. It's probably you're going to find your dead battery when you happen to be out at the range one day or whatever, but it's still equally aggravating. Well, not equally, but it is still aggravating, and it's just not worth it. I've never had one of these fail. I've got 7 of these. They're not an issue. They just work. So to me, I'm just going to say this is a great solution for the person that doesn't want to trust their life to electronics, doesn't want to trust their life to, is the battery going to be ready, doesn't want to have the aggravation of, is the thing going to be on when I need it, could electronics fail. There's a lot of reasons to go for this. Now, if you just are bent on red dot, I'm not going to try to convince you. That's cool, whatever. I might one day buy one too, again, but I think these ACOGs might be worth it. But unless you're magnifying, I don't really see a point in how one could be better. I don't know if you could really magnify this. So as long as we're working in the 1x world, to me, there's nothing superior to this. If you got something that magnifies a little bit, don't get me wrong, I use my scopes on my rifles, but for when you don't need the scope, to me, this is the way to go. All right, thanks for watching, and have a great day.